Hi, everyone. This is Vivek Gupta, and I'm one of the executive members of the OneInMath team. We're going to do this short video on introducing about what is OneInMath. So let's get started. Basically, so if you look at the mission of OneInMath, we said that, we want to spread the love of math. And our primary mission, so we have two missions. One is the primary mission, which is for the small, younger kids, like from kindergarten to third grade. And we want to build a strong foundation in basic arithmetic. And the reason why we want to do that is so that they're more likely to succeed, of course, now in the schools and daily life, but also in the future. Because everything is going towards STEM, everything is going towards science and math. And having a strong foundation is really critical. The second goal that we have is with the high school students, who are actually, we train them and they act as tutors for these students. And the goal for them is to really develop them into great leaders of tomorrow, who have a lot of the leadership skills, the communication skills, the teamwork play, motivation. There are so many things that come as part of this leadership that they actually learn by volunteering and going through this whole process. We have the system set up in a way that they, through experience of being the volunteers and tutors and session leads, etc., in the system, they actually learn a lot of the leadership skills. So that's the main two goals. And just a little history around the current locations, and these locations kind of change dynamically because we actually work with the libraries, the public libraries, who has to give us space, and they have to allow us to do printing and stuff like that, because every child's program is individualized. There's no like one set of books that we can use for everyone. So that's so these locations change, but currently, we are running, we are of course running it for since 2010, and we have around 300, 305 students, 350 students, who actually go through this program every session. And we have 2 sessions per year. And we have over 100, actually, it's right now almost 150 kids, high school students, who actually come and participate and work with our program. And we are spread out to different states. We also have been awarded, the volunteers who actually work on this, with their OneInMath experience and other extracurricular activities. They've really been able to get a lot of awards, and commendations from mayors and from councils, and even things like Daily Point of Light, etc., which is funded by our President George W. Bush. And these libraries, they get pretty quickly, they get over capacity. Once the program is run for a couple of sessions, people come to know about it, and it's a really very effective program. So people really like it. So what is OneInMath? It is really a free program. We don't charge anything, and we don't pay anything. So it goes both ways. So, and we are all volunteers working for this program for the betterment of the kids of the future and for the high school students. So it's a structured program. It is not something it's very predictable and structured for every kid. And so it's a structured program. It's run by high school volunteers. It's for K to third grades. We teach basic arithmetic from like a single digit addition to 4-digit divisions, and everything in between. And we employ certain scientific techniques that are well known around pattern recognition, memory recall, repetition, memorization, and of course, in math, especially, it's really practice. So we do actually help the kids do a lot of practice. We have over 2,000 pages of organized sets of problems, and so it's a pretty comprehensive program for focused on arithmetic. We offer 2 sessions, one in fall and one in spring. Very rarely, once in a while, there would be like strong requests to do a summer session in some library, and we would accommodate that. But usually it is 1 hour per week. For each library has a different weekday and a different time, when they hold it. And it's around 10 to 12 weeks per session. So what is it not? It's equally important to understand what this program is not. It's not a substitute for the math curriculum in school. It's not a homework help center. A lot of libraries have homework help center, and we are not that. We are not a drop-in class. The students have to sign up, and they have to commit to this program for the whole session. And just like as the tutors also sign up and they also commit to the program for the whole session. We do not cover concepts such as time, money, and measure, because that's the other part of math that is taught in these grades. We focus mostly on arithmetic. And we do not prepare for any standardized tests like STAR test, etc. But of course, with our curriculum, what we found is a lot of people have actually given us feedback that they really get, the students are doing really well in school, and they have moved to the advanced math classes, etc. So just to remember, OneInMath is foundational and not goal-oriented, not oriented towards passing tests, etc. All right, so let's look at some papers, in this area, which actually supports our thought process. We started this program even before some of the research papers were there, but we have found that our intuition and what we have learned experientially is what some of these papers are saying. And the basic thing is that the early math education has long-term benefits. So this is the first paper, which is talking about school readiness. And what it says is the early math skills have the greatest predictive power, followed by reading and then attention skills. So math is even more important than reading and writing. So that's what this paper concludes. It's almost 12 authors of very well-known universities. The second paper basically talks about what kinds of knowledge within mathematics and the early knowledge is important. And they actually talk about, kindergarten, the math skills in pattern recognition, measurements, and advanced numbers. We don't do measurement, as we said, but we do pattern recognition as like a core of our system. Advanced numbers, of course, and are predictive of 8th grade outcome overall. This is very critical, right? That what you teach in this younger grades really has an impact as they go to the middle school and also high school. The other is the adolescent, this is an important piece. So this third paper is actually even more important. And what it basically shows is, so this is a graph that is the same represented by this third paper. This is the grades 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And this is like they had some scheme of determining the knowledge of the number systems or the mathematics and playing with numbers, etc. And they had some scoring system. And kids who actually scored poorly in the younger grades, even though their number system knowledge increases, they remain at the lower level compared to the kids who scored higher in this lower grades. And they also, they actually always remain on the top. So this is really important. So that is why, our focus in this kindergarten to 3rd grade is really critical, because we are hoping that we can actually move these lower, performing students, and boost them and kind of intervene and really move them here. So that way they can actually be at the top level as they move through 5th grade and beyond. So that's the main point here. So so what is the need, right? So there are several, things that are, available all over the internet. One of the things that, there is actually a evaluation or a study of different countries. And out of the 71 countries, this was a study that is done in 2018. They placed US in 38th position. We say that America is number 1, but unfortunately, they're actually ranked 30th. So imagine what will happen after 20 years, as these kids come out. The America would actually, not be the number 1 country the way we think it is. And of course, math is now needed in everyday life. Love for math translates in better education, better communities, reduced crime, because, people can actually, there's a very different kind of mental growth in math, or how it goes within the kids. And the STEM is like another key thing, right? I was talking about as math becomes stronger, the kids would actually inherently choose STEM. But when they're weak, the foundation is missing, they actually choose arts, non-STEM fields. And that is kind of unfortunate. We need more and more people to move to STEM. And of course, there's a lot of lack of opportunity to learn, and anxiety and peer pressure from parents, from other students, the teachers, etc., is like a key cause, of losing interest in math. So what do we do? One of the first things that we do is, it is not just about math, it's also about the environment that we create. And we create a very nurturing and confidence building environment. Each student is individualized, their progress is individualized, where they start from is individualized. So they progress at their own pace, and they And we actually have a system where there is really, we reduce the amount of peer pressure that one might be getting, because we mix the number of the students of different grades in smaller groups. And the initial confidence is built by how the mechanism we have of how we do diagnostics. And we start off the student from where exactly they are. It's not based on grade at all. And we have the same tutor in general, for the same, for the entire session. So the kids create a good bond and confidence and trust between them. So that's one of the things about the nature. The other thing is, our philosophy and focus is not how much the student knows. It's really how well the student knows. That's really critical. And, sometimes parent gets very excited and they're more focused on like, hey, how can they do like complex multiplications and stuff like that. It really doesn't matter. If you can actually focus on the foundation and they really know the 8 plus 9 and the 9 plus 8 and the 3 times 5 and the 9 times 7, etc. If they know all these things really well, they will do well overall in school. So we actually check in terms of how can the students answer orally, how confidently can they answer, how quickly can they answer. And it's our goal to check, that students can answer mentally for small numbers, and which means like no finger counting, no counting in the head, no number line. Sometimes when you say 3 plus 4, they start from 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like that in their head. So you don't want that, right? So it's really important that we actually detect that and we work on, the child appropriately. All right, so the curriculum itself is designed so it uses the scientific techniques like pattern recognition, memory recall, repetition, memorization, and practice. We already talked about it, and we'll see more examples of that later. So now, what is it for you as a tutor? Now, as a tutor, this is not just like you're trying to get just volunteer hours. Of course, you'll get the volunteer hours, but you will get a lot more if you really stop focusing on volunteer hours and really focus on yourself and being passionate and contributing to this particular, your role as a tutor. Because the system is built in a way, the things that you do every day, the way you work with the children and everything, you will learn very valuable leadership skills, organizational skills, management skills, conflict resolution with peers, with students, with parents. How do you negotiate with the students? So you will learn a lot of stuff that will be very helpful for your future. So teamwork and teaching techniques, of course, you will learn. Experience being a role model, because these students actually look up to you, and being that role model goes a long way. And you will learn as you go in the workforce, you being a role model is really critical for your peers and people who work around you, and that is how people recognize you as a leader, and then you move up. So satisfaction of helping the kids learn, that's the other thing. Like, you're really having an impact on the child, and you won't know it today, but in 10 years, in 15 years, when the child actually grows up and they become something, they will be thanking you for, having helped them to really get there. And of course, it's a way to kind of give back to the community. It's something good, good about yourself, that you feel like when you try to help others, you're actually helping yourself. All right, so that's more about the introduction of OneInMath. There's a couple of slides around what volunteers say. So we get feedback from volunteers every session, and basically 93% said that it increased their patience, and they became better multitaskers. They became better communicators and more responsible. So these are like very key attributes, and all of these things play into your leaderships. How you become a good leader. These are all like attributes of that. All right, so this is like about the parents. So the parents also, we ask the parents like, hey, how do you feel about OneInMath, and would you recommend this program to others? And 99%, almost everyone says, we will recommend this program to others. The program is, it works so well. But of course, it works so well because of you, because you are the ones who are actually teaching and, on the ground and doing the real work. So thanks to you for doing it, people like yourself. This is another slide, which talks about, what the program, how the parents benefited, the students benefited, improved performance in school, increased confidence, generated more interest in math. Is very common, that we see. All right, that's pretty much it, and we'll continue with the next video on volunteer duties. Thank you very much.